A story here. So this is Ramakrishna Aravind. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Yeah. And what happened was he originally contacted us because he wanted to do a little exhibit at Immersed. He wanted to show us stuff. And I wasn't familiar with Poco, Loco Amusements. And what I did was I looked them up and I looked Aravind up. Excuse me, I looked at Rama. And I was like, wow, he's got an amazing story. So while we're waiting for his presentation to get started, I was hoping you could tell him a little bit about your stuff in film and so on, because really interesting stuff. So let's get Ram. By the way, he came here all the way from India, special for our Immersed. So please, give him a round.
Thank you. Basically, I worked as an assistant director for the film Bahubali, The Beginning, and as a visual effects project manager for the film Bahubali, The Conclusion. So both of these films are India's biggest blockbusters, and I have a graduation in computer science, and also worked as a program analyst in Mindtree for about 8 months in the start of my career. So, what I essentially always wanted to do is to integrate both creativity and technology, and try to create a new form of entertainment. That is that was my passion, and that led me jump from assistant direction to visual effects, and trying to create a form where people can walk in and actually be in an immersive environment where they can talk to these characters of the story, and the story gets produced. It's like getting into the cinema world. That is what I was very much interested in. So I'll just talk about the experiments I'm doing with Poco Loco Amusements, my startup, which is trying to integrate mixed reality and artificial intelligence and build location-based entertainment. Okay. So, yeah, I started off with thank you. There's a reason for it. Thanks Neil and team and Tifka for giving me this opportunity. Thanks friends and family for supporting me and making me feel like the next Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. Thanks my entire team, which is working on my strategy, Ablash or anyone, Banu, all my team, and Mr. Sagar and team for helping me with my patents and all that, protecting, applying for the patent and stuff. And thanks to my partners who have been collaborating and helped me build my prototype and helping me take this idea off. And so this is my logo. So now maybe you might have a clue why I started with the thank you. It's all upside down. So yeah, this upside down guy meditating is basically, it's got a story and a legend to it. I'll try to explain my logo first. So after this film Bahubali, The Conclusion, the director has to tweet this. He says, VFX thinks you are from the direction department, we consider you in the VFX department. But thanks Ram for operating wonderfully from this Trisanku Swargam. There's a story related to the word Trisanku Swargam. I'll explain that later. But what he meant is I created a role for myself in between the visual effects and the direction department, and try to collaborate with both the departments in the sense like make them communicate well and avoided the conflict. Usually the technical people don't understand the creative aspects, and usually the creative people don't understand the technical problems, right? So it was like this is a film where we were doing everything for the first time, with the scale or the idea or the content we are generating is all like first time in India. So we were working about for 58 studios and in 7 different countries on 2,300 odd shots. So it was tough for everyone to coordinate and understand each other. So yeah, and this tweet actually triggered the idea of Poco Loco Amusements. I understood that there's a space where you can bringing creativity as well as the technical things together. So what is Trishanku Swargam? It's a legend in the Indian mythology, basically. There's a sage called Trishanku who meditated and he wanted to, who meditated the gods and said he wanted to visit the heaven before he died. Like all alive, he wants to visit the heaven. So, and gods refused for doing it. So he goes to the most powerful sage called Vishwamitra, and he requests the same. And Vishwamitra starts meditating, and he's being lifted up into the heaven. That's how the story is. And gods refuse to allow him into the heaven while he's alive, and they push him down. So Vishwamitra gets so angry that he says like, I will create a heaven in between earth and heaven for you so that you can stay. I don't want you to, I don't want to take back my word. So he creates a world in between these two things, the earth and the heaven, a new complete creation, which is like the alternate reality. And by the time he's about to finish it, the gods come and start requesting him and try to, take a deal out of it. So they say that okay, fine. Since you can't take your word back, but you can have this creation, this Trishanku Swargam. But everyone who's living in Trishanku Swargam or who wants to get into Trishanku Swargam should be upside down. And they should be meditating upside down to get in there. Sure, it's not easy to get into such kind of worlds. So what I thought is, since I'm like trying to get a middle world between art and technology, between virtual and real worlds. I thought this is the right logo to represent my entire thought process. And so I put up an upside down guy. So coming to the actual problem in the industry that I figured out, like these are the questions that really I kept asking myself. So what is stopping us from creating entertainment form using VR like the one in Ready Player One? If you know, in Ready Player One they have a virtual world and they have avatars for themselves. They can just live and they start playing games with in that particular virtual world. So why is entertainment through VR not a part of our life? Like everyone is not like how we are watching films. We are not going and taking VR experiences. Not every one of us. And why are people not really buying the headsets? Except for the developers or the gamers or some particular sector of the VR industry or the AR industry. It's not like a mobile right now, right? So probably I felt this is what happening in the industry, because filmmakers are coming and saying, looking at the technology, and they say like, let's do VR films, maybe films through VR, or maybe gamers coming and saying that let's do gaming with VR, and the theme writers come and say that let's do theme writers with VR, but regarding the technology, most of the technology is blocking your natural view, right? And they say it's immersive. Usually, what I realized is when my view is blocked, subconsciously my brain is telling me that you should be aware of your surroundings. So whatever immersive content I'm watching in the VR headset, I'm trying to be aware of the surroundings, and I'm coming out of the content, which is taking me off the video that I'm watching in VR. That was my personal experience. So the prices of each headset, like 3,000, 2,600, 1,400, 600. This is not a mobile phone that gets into your pocket, you carry out, and you use it every time, all the time in the day, right? Most probably, all the VR headsets you use mesh for once in a weekend, or maybe sometimes a couple of times in the week for the entertainment purpose, or any other use case. So all these are doing good in the enterprise and the industry level training programs or the other use cases. When it comes to entertainment, it didn't become a part of people's life. right? So I thought like there's a three-dimensional approach that I need to take to understand how to get this entertainment thing into the people. So that is, you have to think in terms of art. At the same time, you have to think in terms of technology and business, right? So, so when thinking about the solution, there was the filmmaking, storytelling style that the Indians follow. I felt that it might help the making and PR content, like how Brazilians have the Jinga style in their football. Indians have a unique storytelling style in their filmmaking. Basically, they have a interval in between of the film. They have songs. They have comedy in a very dramatic story. They have so many elements in the story, right? I mean, like it's not like unidirectional or a single-dimensional movie like Hollywood cinema or some of the international film. So what are they following? They are following this rule that everything is for everyone. They take a universal emotion, build up a story around that emotion, but they keep so many different elements in the story, blended in the story, in such a way that, for example, if a family of 4 people are going, the father might like the intellectual part of the storytelling process, the mother will like the songs, the teenager would like the love story, and the kid might like the comedy. So you have all these elements in every story they do. And India makes a lot of movies, like a lot, and cinema is the biggest entertainment form in India. So I thought like maybe I should approach this idea in that style, like make it universal, try to get everyone connected. And more importantly, we should understand VR and AR or any technology. Look at it as tools rather than platforms. Because most of us are thinking that it's a platform to get our art form into people, but we should look at it as tools, and we should create a new experience altogether. So when it comes to business, let's take the example of how camera went into the people, right? So people started walking into the studios, took their pictures, and later they bought still cameras, started taking pictures of in events, in the family events and whatever. But now we have cameras in our pockets, like literally with our mobile phone, right? So clubbing all these things, I thought like this is the solution. Location-based entertainment, pay per experience. Like people come to your centers, pay for the experience. Make the technology see-through, make it immersive, make it interactive, and use episodic content, episodic driving universal content, like how Indian cinema uses, like maybe a bit of gaming, a bit of thrill factor, and a bit of storytelling process. You should mix up all these things to create content. And see-through headset. Yeah, that is very important. I want myself to be immersed. I don't want my brain subconsciously telling me that you should be aware of the surroundings. So get out of the content. So these are the some of the location-based entertainment centers that we're planning to build. So this is planned for a museum in India. So Nirmaljit Sikon is a fighter jet pilot who defended around who defended Srinagar Air Base, fighting against 6 fighter jets of Pakistan and the war of 1971. And he died defending this. He got Paramvira Chakra award and stuff. So what we're trying to do is create a place where the user walks in and he'll be start talking to the major who led the attack of Pakistan. And the major would be a virtual character, and he'll be talking to that person, and he should be asking the right questions up to this major in such a way that he starts revealing about the story about Nirmaljeet Sikon or the on-air battle. So as he reveals the story, the captain starts talking about this event. We get visuals changing from an interview room to an on-air battle, and the user will be taken into the point of view of Nirmaljeet, giving him the experience of sitting in a fighter jet and driving it, or being in the middle of the battle. So, and the story gets revealed according to the interaction of the user, and the user will be prompted with certain clues to ask the right questions. And once the whole story is revealed, we would reveal the other parts of the story which is missed with the music presentation, which is a 360 kind of experience. So this is more immersive, very interactive, and also which is mixture of a lot of content, making it universal, so that even people who want gaming might enjoy the flight episode. The people who who want a storytelling process might enjoy the interactive sessions, right? And this is episodic, we would be revealing a hook in the end of the next war veteran. So if you want, you can come back again and take an experience about the next guy, learn about him. And the other thing is interactive digital maze. This is designed for restaurants, for people who usually there's a lot of waiting time to find a table, or waiting time after ordering your food. So we thought there'll be a 3-minute, 5-minute experience where this experience has 2 roles, where one person is the decision maker, the other person is the navigator. The navigator gets into a maze, which is a mixture of physical and digital place. He and the decision maker will be outside narrating a story. So the navigator will be presented certain kind of visuals related to the story, and it's more like the mirror maze, but it's a digital form where the locations can be changed according to the story. So both of them together should take decisions and get out of the maze. That is their objective, and we will prompt them in certain way that they take particular decisions. And once they take the decisions, they'll be surprised about the climax of the story, and they get a different experience of the storytelling process. Apart from this, we also have cloaks for the kids, where the kids will wear cloaks and they can run around in the maze, confusing the navigator, where these people will be actually invisible for the navigator. So they can act like ghosts or any other role. They can take roles in the story. Yeah. Then this is our actual product, which we are trying to put up in India. It's about Hanuman. Hanuman is the god in Indian mythology. Sundarakanda is the episodes of Hanuman in Ramayana. So we are trying to create 3 to 5 minute experiences where one day you will come down and sit on the shoulders of Hanuman, take a flight while he's jumping from India to Sri Lanka, or fight along with him while he is fighting demons in Ashokvanam, the forest in Sri Lanka. The next day you might come and talk to Sita, see how Hanuman is interacting with Ravana. These are kind of things. Essentially, you'll get to talk, fight, walk into these worlds, and it's mostly 3 to 5 minutes, and it is episodic content. So, good afternoon, guys. Have a great evening.